Today, we're going to answer your questions, the top 10 questions that you've asked us the most the last 7 months.
And if you're just joining us, I'm Carrie, this is Brian, and we put out a new video every Saturday.
So let's jump right in.
Okay,
we're going to get right to these questions. First question that we probably get answered the most, now these aren't going to be in order, but we do get asked this one a lot, is our medical insurance. What do we use? How does it work?
Right. So we go with Cigna Global, and we've had them now for 7 months. To be honest, we haven't had to use them yet. So we can't really judge on that part of it, but that is a good thing. But we did a lot of research before we picked them, and everything just kind of, they checked the most boxes for us. So if you look at Cigna Global, one of the best ways to just kind of go and check them out is you can easily just go onto their website and do an estimate. There are a couple things that are going to vary your estimate. Your age is going to vary the estimate, the location. The thing that can vary that is add-ons that you pick. So there's a lot of different things you can add on. Preventative care. You can.
Well, we might add on our U.S. care.
Right. The U.S. coverage. That isn't if you're living in the United States. It's only if you're living outside of the United States. But if you add on that U.S. coverage, you get 180 days that you are covered in the United States. So that's a really huge positive. So that's something we're looking into. For right now, not living in the United States, even not having that add-on coverage on there. You do get 21 days if you go into the United States to cover for major medical issues. So not just any regular coverage, but you are covered a little bit.
Now, we did learn from one of our viewers that did sign up for Cigna Global to get online and fill it out online first, get approved, and then give them a phone call. Because he was getting different quotes when he just went ahead and called in. So I think you get a better deal if you get online and do it on their website.
Right. Plus, it's just nice because you can really see everything you're picking. It's a little bit harder when you're talking to somebody on the phone and trying to explain to them what you're looking for. This, you just see it right in front of you. So definitely do that. The only time we had to actually talk to a representative was after we had applied for the process, done everything online, and then we were ready to make the payment.
They want to get paid.
Yeah. And the other thing to do is make sure that you, if you want to, you can pay a year in advance on there and you save 10%, which is a really considerable savings.
Okay, question number 2, in no particular order. Banking. How do we access our money? What cards do we use? How does that all work?
Yeah. So for our ATM, we both have a Charles Schwab account and we both have a Fidelity account. The advantage of both of those accounts is you can take money out from an ATM machine and they reimburse you for the ATM fee.
Anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in the world.
Wow.
And the thing about that is so nice is that we have encountered some places where the fee is really high to take money out.
It's like $8 in some places.
And then they do reimburse that. We try and be very considerate and not take advantage of that. So we try and kind of figure out how much we're going to need for, at least 2 weeks or something and take that amount out at one time. Then for credit cards, we use Capital One Venture. So the Capital One Venture card, you get 2 points on whatever you purchase, and you can use that for travel, or you can have that reimbursed in cash. And so then just have it as a cash credit onto your card. So that's great. The other one is Chase Sapphire card. And Chase Sapphire, I would say, has the best sign-up bonus. So if you're looking for a brand new card and you're after that sign-up bonus, they have 60,000 points right now that you get.
You get 60,000 points and you have to spend...
I believe it was $4,000 that you need to spend in 3 months. So for us, when we first got that, we were going on our trip to Portugal. So I was able to kind of do all the calculations of what you'd be able to purchase in that period of time to be able to make sure I was meeting that amount. So that is the one that we would highly recommend as well.
And one other thing I'd mention, before you leave on vacation, and especially if you're going on an extended period of time, call your bank and let them know that you're going to be gone. They don't like getting charges or access to the banking from Albania or Montenegro. They will freeze your card, and it's an easy phone call to get it fixed. But just let them know.
And also the other thing that would go along with that is making sure that that is where your VPN comes into play as
Right.
well. If you do not have a VPN on your computer or on your phone, and then you try and access your credit card or any of your banking or anything, and it all of a sudden is saying
You're
you're in
fine.
Albania, they're going to lock your account and you're going to have to make that phone call. If you have a VPN on your phone and stuff, it's going to be able to set it for the United States, leave it there, and then no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Question number 3. So our visa, what visa do we use? How are we able to stay within the Schengen area for more than 90 days? Well,
We're not.
we're not. wish we
There isn't really a magic way that you're staying. There are, in certain places, certain countries will allow you to try and apply to extend that. We have not done that. There are 26 countries in the Schengen area. If a country, it can still be in the EU, but not be in the Schengen area.
Right.
And so those places, one of those is like Croatia. So we're going to be going to Croatia when we have fulfilled our 90 out of 180 in the Schengen area. And then also that's how we ended up in...
That's how we ended up in Montenegro for
Montenegro.
2 months, and then Albania for another month.
Right.
So that was our 90 days out. Now we're in Greece.
Now we're in Greece and we're
So-
back in Schengen. Yeah.
So we'll leave a link below for the official website that explains all that. It'll list all 26 countries that you can bounce in and out of and how that all works. There's also an app, isn't there?
There's apps, and then I just found I wasn't using the app that much that I didn't have it on my phone. But there are websites, and so we'll also put the link for that as well, where you can plug in your days. So you are able to actually see, like, okay, I entered the country on this day, I'm exiting on this day, I'm entering, I'm exiting, and it will add it up for you and tell you when you have to be
It's
out.
like a
and it will-
Schengen calculator.
Yep, and it will tell you when you have to be out and when you can come back in. Makes it super simple.
Does the work
Because
for
nobody
you.
wants to buy a plane ticket and find out that they were too early to enter and don't get to use it.
Or get deported.
And don't press those boundaries, because we have heard that some people say, like,
Yeah.
I wonder if I could stay a little bit longer. And it all depends on the person checking your information.
Just don't
So
do it.
they have it in the computer. They know.
Just follow the rules.
Just follow the rules. It's better.
Okay, question 4.
Yeah.
Now, we started this in September, so we've been doing this for 7 months, and we've already got asked, how long have we been doing this for? Are we going to be doing this forever, or just a few months, a couple years?
Well, first off, we got rid of everything, so hopefully we plan on doing it for a long
We
time.
got nothing.
We have our bags. But, really for us, the plan is to do it indefinitely. We don't have an endpoint in place right now. So the ultimate goal, though, is to find those locations that we want to come back to and be for 3 months.
Yeah.
They need to check those boxes. Are they affordable? Is it a place we can see wanting to spend? Are the people really nice? Is it,
And when that time comes, then we'll get back to our last question. We'll start trying to figure out how to, apply for a visa that we can stay for a longer period of time. But no, 3, 4, 5, 6 months at a time would be great at some point, but that's not any time in the near future.
No, we haven't found those places yet.
And what about moving back to the United States?
I don't foresee us moving back to the United States for quite a long time, and one of the main reasons that is healthcare. For us to be able to move back to the United States, we would ultimately be getting another 40-hour-a-week job just to have healthcare, and that's just not something that we're interested in. So, so until we're Medicare age, here we are, and we're traveling around, and
So stay tuned. We're going to be in Portugal next, and then back into Europe. Well, Eastern Europe, hopefully, and then off to Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
So
Excited for that. Whole different territory.
Yeah. Okay, question number 5. Are we on 5?
Yes.
Question
5.
number 5. Accommodations. How do we pick where we're going to stay? What do we use? How do we use it? How much is it? Do we get any deals? Do we get any breaks?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
So we use Airbnb. Pretty much 95% of the time we're Airbnb. And one of the biggest reasons is because with Airbnb, you get a considerable discount for staying for a month at a time, and that's what we do. So if you stay at least 28 days, I've seen savings up to 70% off. Yeah. Typically, you're gonna see about 50% off. That's, when we're looking at a place, and there have been times it's like, well, could we just maybe we'll just stay 2 weeks there and then move to the next place. And I changed those dates. Those 2 weeks were free. Yeah, so it doesn't really make make a whole lot of sense not to just stay there for the month. There's only been one time we did use booking.com, and that was actually in Albania in Saranda, and we were able to get a place for a really considerable price.
Well, the biggest advantage there is you pay when you get there. So you don't have to book anything out.
Right, you're not having, and also I think when we were dealing with some questions of things being open and COVID and stuff like that, or if you have something where you're worried about being able to cancel, Airbnb does not have that option to cancel. Right. They do have a few little things, but I mean, we're talking, it's something really bad has to happen before you're going to be able to get your money back.
Like a war or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, question number 6, our phone plan. What do we use? How does it work? Now, have we used it all the time?
No.
No, how many times have we used it?
We've actually, in the 7 months that we have now been out, we have only used our phone plan for 3 months, and that was while we were in Spain.
Yeah.
And really the reason that we did that is that in Spain, the Wi-Fi wasn't as readily available. Our Airbnbs that we were staying in, the Wi-Fi was kind of in and out, so we really needed to have that available to us. But then as soon as we got to Montenegro and we got to Albania and now in Greece, we have found that there is Wi-Fi everywhere.
We haven't had a problem at all.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things back when we got to Spain, we just thought we were supposed to. We thought we needed to.
Yeah.
And it turns out we were glad we did.
Yeah.
We actually, the second and third month, re-upped because we needed it. And when we got to Montenegro, we were going to do the same thing, but they were out of SIM cards when we went to buy it. And then after the first week or so, we just decided we didn't need it.
Yeah, every restaurant had it, so it really didn't matter. And it's not a cost thing. It is, for what we have found in every place that we have been in, is that for about $10 to $15 US, you are getting a SIM card with a decent amount of gigabytes on it. So it's not a cost thing. It's also, honestly, sometimes it comes down to it's not an easy process. You have to have your passport, and they have to take all your information.
You gotta get that little SIM card into your phone.
I do it for him. I have smaller fingers.
So there's that.
There's that. Yeah. But, that is, the other thing I would say is that prior to leaving the United States, we did sign up for Google Fi. We actually had used it for a couple months before leaving the States.
Right.
That is something really great to have, even if you just get your SIM card, you get it signed up, and then you go ahead and just pause the service. Because then you have that available to you when you do come back to the United States. Some people I've heard of do use it when they're out of the States for long term, but right on their site it really does say it's not meant to be long-term use. Right. We found it was expensive to use long-term for us anyways, because we were spending about $40 a month on there compared to $10 a month.
We didn't think it was expensive at the time, but then when we got over to Spain and we started paying, $15, $10.
Yeah, I think we're $10 for a lot of data. Yeah. So that's something to think about if you are traveling. A really good thing to do is maybe just even do the Google Fi to just start
I will say, if you're traveling 2-3 weeks at a time, you can get an extension on your AT&T or your Verizon or whatever it is, and then Google Maps and directions and looking things up is handy, and we've kind of given that up a little bit. Yeah. But to us, it's been working.
Worth it. Yeah, it's fine.
All right, number 7, in no particular order.
Plowing through.
How do we figure out where we're going? Where are we going next? When we get there, how long are we staying? Are we staying in that region of the world? Are we bouncing around? Why do we do it the way we're doing it?
Well, I would say that probably the biggest reason we do it the way we're doing it is budget. We do have a very strict budget that we try and stay within. And so by sitting there, and we can't just look at a map and go, hey, let's go there. So we look at a place, we're like, okay, if we fly to an area, so as an example, we flew to Spain. We were staying in Spain and going to 3 different locations within Spain. So we really pick our places that we are going to go to based on how much they cost. And so being in Spain, it was a bit more expensive. So then we followed it up with Montenegro and Albania, and in order to save some money. And then also now we're in Greece, so that would save some money to be where we are now.
So it was easy to get here. We didn't have to spend a lot of money to get here.
Right. So and then we pick those places. Also, when we land somewhere, we don't want to be getting on a flight in another 28, 30 days. Right. We've really learned we don't like to fly that much with all of our luggage.
We don't mind flying, but we don't I mean, we're not Karen Nate. We're not just going to jump on a plane every 3 days and go somewhere new. We just can't.
Too old for that.
Yeah. So that's why we choose to stay in the region that we're in for 3,
Yeah.
4, 5 months.
We really like the trains. We like
Yeah.
to be able to get our do our transportation that way. It's much easier day and a lot more affordable. So
Right.
that's kind of how we pick. We pick a region. We pick an area that we're going to be going to, and then we're going to hop around in that area.
The ease of travel and the budget is what it breaks
Yep.
down to. So there you go. All right, question 8 is our budget. How do we do this on our budget? Now we do a video at the end of each month on our budget and what we spend and what we spend it on. So if you haven't seen those videos, that'll give you a pretty good answer, but we do get this question quite a bit.
Yeah.
So how do we do it? What do we do?
Yeah, so we each have a budget of $900 a month, and that is going to include everything that we spend in a month for groceries, entertainment, not transportation, like taxis and just
Buses
the regular
and stuff like
buses,
that,
getting
right.
around, stuff like that. And then it also includes our health insurance.
Right.
We also then on top of that have a budget of $2,200 a year for each of us.
Travel.
For our transportation of getting around the world. And the reason that budget is actually higher is because we do have set to go home twice a year to see family and friends. So $2,200 for that. And then we do have, people have asked us about emergency fund. Emergency fund is really personal as far as what you would feel comfortable having an emergency fund and what I may feel is really different. So I would just say that we both have money put aside that is accessible in the case of an emergency.
Yeah.
And it's what we're comfortable with.
Yeah.
So that's really just one of those things you have to do what works for you.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Watch those other videos because
Yeah.
those will answer some questions for you as well.
You'll see what we spend.
Yeah. Question 9, and we get this quite a bit, and it doesn't really surprise me, but it kind of does. But where did we work? What were our jobs before we quit them and decided to do what we're doing now? Well, I was a beer and wine salesman. You've seen me drink plenty of beer and wine on these videos, so that might answer that question as well. But that's what I did. I was a sales rep, and I enjoyed it, loved the people I worked with. Decided to quit and do this instead.
And I worked for the city that we lived in. I was admin. So, we both loved our jobs. It had nothing to do with that. We were just ready to travel the world. We certainly never won the lottery, and we did not get a phone call from our parents, either one of them, telling us that there was some inheritance we didn't know about. But, I think that's the biggest question is how we're able to do what we're doing. And once again, that's kind of everybody has to have an amount or whatever they're comfortable doing this with. So us telling you what we made or how much we have or anything like that.
You might think we're crazy.
You probably would think we're
probably
crazy.
would.
But, everybody is just really different of what their comfort zone is. And, I think there's just that whole thing of you can live now or you can live later. So
I'm going to live now.
we're going to live now.
Yeah. All right. Question number 10. Last
question.
but not least. You were supposed to be last but not least. Okay, and this is probably one of the more common questions that we get. It probably should have been number 1. Number 2 right
Well, these
behind
aren't in any
insurance
order
rates.
anyway,
But
so it
these
doesn't
are
matter.
not in any particular order. So packing, how do you pack for 7 months on the road or longer for that matter? Well, when we left Bellingham, we thought we had it figured out. But
so it's been interesting because, like we mentioned before, we got rid of absolutely everything to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking at your bag and you're deciding what you're going to put in and what you're going to take with you, you just kind of think through every scenario. After you've been on the road for, really honestly, it was probably just the first 2 months. It's like, yeah, a lot of those things I didn't need. But then you like them enough, you don't want to get rid of them, so you're hauling them around with you. So
we've left things in Spain.
Yep, we left things
we left
in Spain.
things in Albania.
Yep. Fortunately, we found places where we could leave them. We didn't want to just toss them away. So
good stuff.
But we've learned a lot. We have learned that we don't want to carry as much as we have. The bags are incredibly heavy. We're looking at ways that we can downsize and what we can get rid of. But we have we feel we've learned enough. We're going to go ahead and we've mentioned this before, do a packing.
Ooh. A packing video?
Do a packing
It's
video.
It's going to be a good one, too. It's going to be epic. Stay tuned for that.
You know, and we're waiting. We know we mentioned it before, but we're going to wait because we are headed home. So we get to get a lot of that stuff out of our bags, regroup, show you maybe what we aren't bringing anymore, what we realized we didn't need, what we're deciding to do now, and what we will pack. And so hopefully it helps other people out.
So you see me in the same clothes in every video anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Just wait until we get back from going home.
Maybe even
I don't
worse.
like t-shirts, hair shorts. We'll see.
When you pack up your stuff every month and you're having to haul it from one place to the next, you really realize that those things that you didn't wear, you get really tired of packing them.
Yeah. So those are your top 10 questions that you ask us. Now, if we didn't answer one of your questions, or if you have another question, please feel free to ask that question. We use those questions in our next video wherever we can. Your questions make our videos better. That's how we look at it anyway. So please ask the question, leave a comment, let us know how we're doing.
Yeah. Right now we're in Greece. And if you have not seen those videos yet, check those out because
they're really good.
We're in Santorini. It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice, yeah. So check those out, and make sure and subscribe. Ring the bell. Maybe a thumbs up helps us.
Every Saturday we have a new video.
Yeah.
So check them out. We really appreciate it. It goes a long ways.
Yeah. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.